What's up, guys? Welcome to the third episode of the MMA X Factor. I'm your host, Notorious Picks. Um, just want to give you guys a quick recap of last weekend. Didn't go my way. Lost money on Jason Knight. Um, not gonna complain about decision or anything. I think he should have done more in that third round to secure the victory. Split decision, definitely hurts, but it is what it is. So I just trying to analyze what went wrong here and move forward with bets for this card. So for this weekend, I want to break down Jared Brooks versus Jose Shorty Torres. Shorty Torres, very exciting prospect, making his UFC debut. He is a double champ at Titan FC. He was a flyweight and bantamweight champ. He has a very exciting fight style, and I think this should be a very good fight. I want to just straight go to the first X factor, and I think that is Shorty's relentless pressure. In all the fights that I've seen, Shorty has a pretty similar game plan. He likes to come forward. He likes to put pressure on guys. He likes to, put his punches together. He doesn't mind getting hit and firing back. Usually, the first round is usually close when he fights, especially bigger guys at 135, like De Jesus and Sharapov. Both of those guys were giving him a bit of trouble early. He even got dropped by Sharapov. That was a nice left hook that landed. Shorty was able to recover, but he did face some adversity in that fight. Also against De Jesus, I believe he lost that first round. De Jesus was putting some good punches together. He might have even hurt Shorty with one of those. But once again, Shorty was able to pull through adversity, and which I like seeing. And then he took over, starting, especially towards the end of the second round, you could see that he started to break guys with his pressure, and he just never stops coming forward. He has kind of a similar pressure to Cain Velasquez, and I like seeing that in guys, and especially when you also have a background in wrestling and judo, which Shorty does. He not only gonna come forward with strikes, he can wrestle, he can switch levels really well, and even when guys shoot on him and take him down, he has a great get up game. He can reverse takedowns and get on top himself. So that's something great to see. But yeah, just in terms of relentless pressure, I like that. I like seeing that he wears on guys and he breaks guys. So that is definitely a great thing to see in a fighter. The second X factor I want to mention is Shorty's striking. I believe he definitely has a better striking in this matchup. Brooks, I'm not really impressed with Brooks' striking. I think he mostly uses it to set up his takedowns, which he does pretty well. He's got a great double leg. He's definitely a good wrestler. He was a state champ in Indiana, so definitely has some good credentials there. But in terms of striking, like I said, I don't see anything that will cause problems to Shorty. Shorty's the only time that he only dealt with adversity was at bantamweight, and those guys are bigger, and Shorty is not a natural bantamweight. He definitely is more of a flyweight. So, and you could see that size advantage that guys had on him definitely played a factor. And, Brooks is not going to have that. I think Brooks is more of a strawweight. So I'm not really worried about his punching power or his combinations. That's not really the worry here. I think the problem that he might cause is with his speed, which is the next X factor that I want to mention. Brooks, like I mentioned, he has, I think, the speed advantage here. He definitely is, lighter on the feet. He likes to, kind of bounce around, like move a lot, and kind of be on the outside. And then when guys, press forward on him, and he's able to switch levels and take him down. So that's what he looks to do, and the speed definitely helps him to close the distance and take guys down and to circle away when guys pressure. So that's something that Shorty has to deal with is Brooks' speed, especially early in the fight. Brooks will be fresh, he'll be moving a lot. So that first round, I think, will be pretty close. I won't be surprised if Brooks is able to land a takedown, but I'm not so sure if he's going to be able to keep Shorty down. I think that's a pretty tough task. Shorty has a very good get-up game, and he can also reverse takedowns. So I believe Shorty will have success reversing or getting up pretty fast if he gets taken down. So the next X factor I want to mention that I've kind of touched upon already, and that is Shorty's ability to deal with adversity and win. Like I said, the two fights that I mentioned before was the Jesus fight and Sharipov. In both of those fights, he definitely dealt with adversity early, and he was able to come through and get through that adversity and come back and win. That's something that I love seeing in fighters. He's definitely not a quitter. He finds a way to win, and his pressure is what really helps him do that. But at flyweight, he doesn't really face adversity. He KOs or TKOs guys within the first 2 rounds. So really, that adversity is only was seen against bigger guys at bantamweight, which is not the case here. I'm not saying he's not going to deal with adversity here. I expect the first round to be close. I can see Brooks maybe even winning it. So there will be adversity that needs to be overcome in this fight. Brooks is not a slouch. He faced some good competition in the octagon. I believe he was robbed in Brazil against Figueiredo. I thought he won that fight. Against Shelton, it was close. It could have gone either way, but so he could have been undefeated, still. So he's definitely a pretty good guy. All right, and last thing I want to mention is, as the X factor, is the short notice that Shorty had for this fight. He only had 9 days to prepare. He's been waiting for the opportunity to get into the UFC for a long time. But in the interview he had recently with James Lynch, he mentioned that he was actually bulking up to fight at 145 because he just didn't want to fight no names at 125, 135, and he wanted to challenge himself. He was putting on weight for like a month and a half, so he got pretty heavy. And actually, the guy he wanted to fight turned down the fight, so he was kind of in the limbo, and now he got a call to fight Jared Brooks. He was a bit hesitant to accept it because he was, heavy, obviously, but he talked to his nutritionist, who said that he has 100% confidence that they can make the weight, and he accepted the fight. Apparently, Jared Brooks wasn't so eager to fight Shorty, but Shorty said that the UFC put pressure on Brooks, and Brooks accepted the fight. So now it's on, and it's happening in 2 days. So the reason why I wanted to mention this is, Shorty's style of that relentless pressure, the weight cut, it could play a factor. If he doesn't have the best, cut, he might actually, tire out. He might not be able to execute his game plan like he always does. So that's something definitely to worry about. It's definitely a question mark. But I have confidence in Shorty. I think it's his time to shine. I think it's a great matchup for him. And I do believe that he will get down to that weight safely and make the weight. So those are my thoughts, on the fight. Now I want to give you guys a few prop bets that I think are interested to bet. The first one I want to mention is if you guys think that, Jose might not be, on the level, or he might have a tough time cutting weight, I would play Brooks by decision. I don't think Brooks would finish Jose. Shorty is a pretty tough guy. Never been finished. Never actually lost. And like I said, the only time he really faced adversity was against bigger guys. So I think if Brooks wins, he'll be by decision. So I would not mind taking a shot at that. The price is plus 245. So definitely a good price on that. Another prop that I want to mention, and that is Torres inside the distance, which is at plus 255. I think that Shorty will start pulling away in the second round. Brooks does gas, so that's something to look out for. He definitely doesn't look that great in the third round, and with Shorty's pressure and his striking, I can see him, hurting Brooks and putting him away. It could be, late second round or third round. If you guys are really if you guys really feeling risky, you could even play, Shorty in the second or third round. The odds are not out for that yet. But I would just play inside the distance. I wouldn't make it a big play, because there's some question marks, obviously, with the short notice and it being the first fight in the UFC. So, maybe like a 1 or 2 unit play with something that I recommend. And then the last play I would want to mention is, Shorty Torres, just straight. I think there's value on that. I do think he gets it done. I think he's a better fighter pretty much all around. And the price on that, it is negative 175. I think the price is good. So definitely wouldn't mind taking a shot. I took a shot myself. I got 3 units on Shorty Torres, and I like the spot. So once again, thanks guys for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed the content, and let's catch some bets this weekend.